Good morning, children. So we have completed our microorganisms lesson with the useful organisms over, and we also learned about harmful microorganisms in animals, okay, in human beings, what type of diseases they are facing due to microorganisms. These all we have completed, right? And now in your NCERT textbook, children, two pictures in every lesson it will come, and it gives some fun to who are those two characters. Those are Paheli and Bozu characters will come in each lesson, no? So one day what happened? Paheli went to one party. She ate all the new varieties of food items are there. Happily she ate and she came back to home. And from the midnight, her stomach was upset and she started vomiting. And immediately parents took her to the hospital. Doctor examined her and said that this her condition because of food poisoning. So what's the meaning of food poison? So today we are going to learn about food poison. What is the meaning of food poison? We'll see. So we are reading about food poison. Her condition, they said that Paheli is suffering from food poison. Then Bozu, he was little wondered what is the meaning of food poison. Food also gets poisonous. He was getting a doubt like that. Yes, children, actually what happens when we leave the food items like that for too many days, then it starts, microorganisms gets attracted towards the food item. They'll come and sit on the food item and they'll release some toxic substances into that food item. What the microorganisms are releasing? So what are get attracted towards the food items? Microorganisms gets attracted towards the food items, and as soon as they reach to the food item, what they are releasing? Toxic substances. What they are releasing? Toxic substances. From where these toxic substances comes? From their body. Inside their body, these toxic substances will be. So from their body, they will release this toxic substance and make the food items poisonous. And see, Paheli once brought the mangoes from outside and he kept like that and he did not get time to eat them. 2-3 days went on like that, and later when he opened and see, the mangoes totally spoiled. And if his mother prepare a pickle of mango, it can stay without spoiling for longer time. Then he got a doubt, what's the reason how his mother able to keep for longer time and why he kept the mangoes outside rotten and giving bad smell. What is the reason he was thinking like that? And then he understood that is because of microorganisms. That is known as because of microorganisms. Then what to do? How we can prevent this illness? How we can save our food items without spoiling, without becoming poisonous? We'll see now. So that is only known as food preservation. Keeping the food without getting spoiled by the microorganisms known as food preservation. So now we'll read about the food preservation. We are going to learn about food preservation. What's the meaning of preservation? Without getting spoiled by the microorganisms known as food preservation. So what we are going to use, how we can preserve the food items without getting spoiled by microorganisms, we'll see now. We will use, for example, as Paheli thought that how his mango spoiled within 2-3 days, and how the mango pickle which his mother prepared and stays for longer time. The reason is his mother was using, everybody knows that how your moms will make the pickles. No, they'll use the oils and then common salt they'll use. So this common salt and edible oils both are acting as preservatives. The preservative means how the oil and edible oils, edible oils and common salt, edible oil and common salt, how they are useful, how they are acting? They are acting as preservatives. Preservatives. They are acting as preservatives. We have different methods to preserve the food items. In our first lesson, crop protection and management, you have seen how we need to store the food grains. You all understood, right? Before storing, what we'll see, the grains should not have moisture in them. So we will dry the seeds, grains outside for longer time, and then when under the sun, first we'll dry the seeds and then we'll dry under the shade also. After that, when totally moisture, when grains are moisture free, then we'll store these grains in gunny bags, silos and granaries. These all in storing of grains, crops, protection and management lesson you learnt. And now here we are seeing our food items. Generally in our day-to-day life, what food items we are using, how to preserve those food items we are learning now. So what are the different preservative methods we'll see. The first one is chemical preservation. Chemical methods of preservation. Chemical preservatives. Chemical preservatives. What we are using as chemical preservatives we'll see now. Chemicals like sodium benzoate. Chemicals like sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfate. Sodium metabisulfate. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfate, these two chemicals we are using to preserve the food items. Like what type of food items will use these chemicals? Like raw mangoes we can preserve by adding this, or else the food items like pickles and all, while preparing these two chemicals we can use for preserving. And next method we'll see now, that is common salt. Just now we discussed about pickles, what we are adding in the pickle to preserve the pickle for longer time we had seen. No, that is only the common salt. Common salt chemical formula is sodium chloride. What we call, what is the chemical formula for common salt? Sodium chloride. So this sodium chloride helps to stop the growth of microorganisms. It won't allow the microorganisms to grow on food items. So it acts as a preservative in pickles. What is acting as preservative in pickles? Common salt acting as a preservative in pickles. And next what we'll use? This is the first method. Using chemical preservatives, first method. And this one is the common salt. Using common salt to preserve the food items is the second method. And now we'll see the third method, using sugar as preservatives. Using sugar as preservative. By using sugar, we can preserve the food items for longer time. So what food items we can preserve by in this way, and how the sugar is helping to preserve the food item means sugar can remove the moisture content from the food items. It is able to remove the moisture content. Sugar can able to remove the moisture from the whatever you are going to store from that food item. Sugar can remove the moisture content. When moisture is not there, that food item can store for longer time. So by using sugars, we can store jam. Fruit jams will be in preparing jams, jellies, fruit jellies. These all prepared by using sugar as preservative. And the next method is by using common salt we can preserve, by using chemical preservatives we are preserving, and by using sugars we are preserving. And the next method is heat or cold treatment. By following the heat or cold treatment. What method we are following? By following the heat or cold method. You might have seen in your home, your mother will, as soon as she get the milk from outside, she'll boil that milk. No, what for she is boiling like that? Can't we use without boiling? We cannot, because the milk contains n number of microorganisms. When she boil the milk, the microbes which are living at high temperatures, which can sustain the high temperatures, those microorganisms get killed at high temperatures. That's why we will compulsory boil the milk. And then immediately while setting the milk into curd, she will not add the milk drop immediately in hot milk, right? She will allow that milk to become cool for some time, and when it become cool, then she will add a drop of milk to that to make into curd. And you know that some useful microorganisms are also there, are helping in this process. You learnt in before lesson in useful microorganisms that lactobacillus is helping to convert milk into curd. You learnt, no? Here same way, some microorganisms which are able to live at low temperatures, those organisms can get killed by using the cold treatment. So to preserve the food items, we use heat and cold treatment. Heating to the high temperatures. At high temperatures, the organisms which can live at high temperatures can get killed, and by bringing them into very low temperatures, these low temperature organisms can get killed. So when in first lesson you also learned that farmers will store their food grains in AC rooms also. You might have seen that in preservation of food grains lesson, they will bring they'll get their yield in lot amount, no? So it is compulsory for them for storing their food items or the crop whatever they grow. So what they'll do at a time when the required or as is desired, when the amount did not come for his crop, he can store that food grains in AC rooms for longer time. Why they'll keep in the AC room, not in outside place, means to stop the growth of microorganisms. They'll go to the AC rooms and silos. These all they are using. The same method in our day-to-day life to preserve the food items, we can use it. So this is one method, and the next method is pasteurization. The next method is pasteurization. What is the meaning of pasteurization? Pasteurization means the milk packets which we are getting in your home, once you observe on the milk packet, it is toned milk, pasteurized milk will be written on that packet, right? So that is nothing but they will boil the milk up to above 70 degrees. They will boil the milk above 70 degrees. In factories, they'll boil the milk above 70 degrees, and then immediately they'll cool this milk with -degrees temperatures. Boiling the milk above 70 degrees and then immediately bringing to the low temperatures known as pasteurization. What will follow this pasteurization? When we boil above 70 degrees, as we understood in heat and cold treatment, the organisms which live in about more temperatures can get killed, and immediately bringing to the low temperatures, the organisms which can survive at low temperature also can get killed. That's why this process, before packing the milk, we are using this process. So what we are calling this process as pasteurization process. Who found this pasteurization? A scientist named as Louis Pasteur. A scientist, Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur found this pasteurization method. So it's helping us a lot in preservation of milk. So these are the different preservative methods, children. So you understood now what is the meaning of food poison. Food poison is nothing but microorganisms are releasing chemical substances, toxic substances, and they spoil the food items. How we know that the particular food item is spoiled means by observing, by knowing the bad smell of that food item, we can say that the food item is poisonous. And when we consume the poisonous food, then it causes for illness in human beings. So we need to stop the growth of microorganisms on food items. How can we stop the growth of microorganisms on food items? By using different preservatives, we can stop the growth of microorganisms. So what all the different preservative methods are there? One is chemical method, like chemicals like sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfate. These are we are using to preserve the food items. And then we are also using common salt and pickles stop the growth of microorganisms. And by using sugar reduce the moisture content and it helps for storing the jellies, jams and fruity. These all drinks, the soft drinks also, more amount of sugar we will add for storing for many days. And the next one is heat or cold treatment. When we heat at a high temperature, some microorganisms can get killed, and when we bring to the low temperature immediately, some microorganisms get killed. And the next one is pasteurization process. This is invented by Louis Pasteur. The pasteurization meaning making the milk to boil at about 70 degrees and suddenly bringing to the low temperature known as pasteurization, and it is invented by Louis Pasteur. And along with this we will also use vinegar. We are also using vinegar for the preservation of food items. So up to here we completed food poisoning, how food gets poisonous and how to preserve the food and what are the preservatives we are using. That we are completed, children. And our last topic in this lesson is the before day you learnt about how animals and how human beings are facing problems, what type of diseases we are getting due to microbes we understood. Now we will see the other living creatures around us. What are those? They are nothing but plants. So now we will see in plants what type of diseases are there due to the microorganisms. So that we will see now how plants are suffering due to microorganisms. Our next topic is how plants are suffering due to microorganisms. What we'll see now? Plant diseases. Plant diseases. How plants are getting diseases and what type of diseases plants will get due to microorganisms. The first disease in plants is citrus canker. Citrus canker disease. Citrus canker. Citrus means citrus fruits, all the fruits which are in sour taste. like your lemon, orange. These fruits which gives a sour taste, those all fruits comes under citrus family. We learned that for our easy understanding to study about the organisms, scientists arranged the living organisms into different groups. No? Same way, this all the sour taste fruits all comes under citrus group, citrus family. So this citrus family will get a disease known as citrus canker. Which disease? Citrus canker. This is caused by bacteria. This disease, citrus canker, is caused by bacteria. You learned about the types of microorganisms, right? In that about bacteria you learned. So that bacteria causes for citrus canker disease. Due to this, what happens? I'll show you the picture of this citrus canker in video. And the symptoms of this citrus canker is a brown color spots occur on citrus fruits. Brown spots occur on citrus fruits and they spread. When it is growing, the spot also becomes bigger. And even prematured leaves, maturity will come so early in the leaf and fruit and they may fall from the plant. So totally it's a pulpy fruits. No, citrus fruits are pulpy fruits. If they are attacked by this bacteria, the pulp, increasing of pulp will become reduced. The pulp will be not more in these fruits which are attacked by citrus canker disease. And then next one is, this is first one, and the next disease is rust of wheat. Especially in wheat plant, rice plants, their leaves, like this, their leaves are, their leaf, upper part of their leaf, this is lemon, a brown color spot can be seen and prematured leaf and fruit suckers. This is by citrus canker. And in rust of wheat disease, we can found a brown color rust. Which color? Brown color rust. We can find the brown color rust on wheat leaf, rice leaf, these all. This is caused by fungi. Which microorganism is causing for this disease? Fungi microorganism is causing for rust disease. And because of this brown color rust, the leaf reduces the photosynthesis process. When leaf is not so healthy, the yielding automatically become less and the farmers, everybody doing work to get more yielding, so that get reduced because of this fungi. So fungi causes for which disease? Rust disease. In which plants, which crops? Like wheat and rice crops. And the third one is yellow vein mosaic. Yellow vein mosaic of bending. Yellow vein mosaic of bending. So you all know the bendy leaf. So this bendy leaf, white color patches occurs on the leaf and this reduces the white color patches occurs. The green chlorophyll pigment, the chlorophyll percentage become less in bendy, and whenever the leaf is not healthy, their yielding is automatically get reduced and it spreads to the other healthy plants through the insects. This disease spreads to other plants by insects. So these are the some listed diseases in plants due to microbes. How can we prevent these diseases then? How we should protect our plants, protect our crops by not getting these type of diseases? What should we do then? There are different chemicals There are different chemicals available. By using the chemical according to the pathologist advice and the botanists, scientists in agri farms, they are available. They'll give us advices and what type of chemicals to use. Particular insect or particular microorganism have a particular type of chemicals. So by using that we can reduce or we can stop the growth of these microorganisms and we can help to the farmers to get more yieldings. So till now I think you understood about the plant diseases. How many types of plant diseases we discussed? 3 types. One is citrus canker. Citrus canker is caused in which family? Citrus family. So what is the mode of transmission? What the microbe is causing for this? The bacteria is causing for this citrus canker disease. In what mode it was getting transmitted from healthy plant to the infected plant to the healthy plant? Through air. It is getting transmitted from infected plant to the healthy plant by air. It is getting transmitted. And the next disease we had seen rust disease, rust of wheat disease, rust of rice disease. These all caused by which microorganism? They are caused by fungi. So how it is getting transmitted? How it transmits from healthy plant to the infected plant to the healthy plant? By air or by the seeds. After yielding, farmers will keep some seeds for their next crop. So through that seeds also this rust disease will spread to the future crop plants. So before choosing the seeds, farmers should be very selective seeds. They need to take very healthy seeds they have to choose for their crop. And the last one is yellow vein mosaic disease. That occurs in bhendi. So bhendi plants will become white in color, chlorophyll pigment becomes less, and this is spreading the transmission of bhendi disease. Yellow mosaic disease is by insects. So to stop all this, the only way is using proper chemicals. So up to here, we have completed microorganisms, friend and foe lesson, children. So 1 or 2 questions I'll give you as home assignment. So write your home assignment questions. Those are your home assignment questions are write any 10 uses of microorganisms. Write any 10 uses of microorganisms. And the next question is write any 3 plant diseases mention the microorganism which cause for those diseases, and also write the mode of transmission. And write the mode of transmission. And write the mode of transmission for these plant diseases. So these 2 answers completed. Write as your home assignment, children. So today we discussed about what's the meaning of food poison and how can we prevent the food poison and what are the different preservative methods, what we are using as preservatives and what are the different plant diseases and what are the microbes caused for those diseases. And we also discussed that in what mode they are transmitting, and how can we prevent these diseases. This all we learnt today. So once you read all this from your textbook and do your home assignment, children. Thank you.